So let's talk about the different communication modes we have available. Calls, emails, text messages. I do want to go into some detail about our email functionality. We're going to talk about some additional features and actions that we can move forward with, adding future follow-ups, walk-ins, and appointments. We're even going to talk about how to merge duplicate prospects. So let's go back in and let's take a look. All right, for this, let's go and grab onto somebody that has a little bit of information here. All right, so we're going to use Taylor here as our little guinea pig. So a question. When transferring ownership, what is the reason for the prospect versus tours? So if you do transfer, those of you that are utilizing the tours application, that's what that means. So if you're utilizing the tours app as well, you're just transferring ownership for both. If you're not, you generally will utilize the prospects only. Selecting either one is going to transfer successfully, but generally those of us that have the Tours app are also going to see that as well. So you can select either one; it'll still select that individual and transfer the ownership. So great question. You're welcome. All right. So now let's talk about our different communication modes. So we talked about the prospect information over here. At the bottom here, we're going to see how we can move forward with communication. And here at the right, you're going to see some other actions. And we're going to talk about all of that here in this particular section. So let's talk about calls. So remember, inbound calls are coming into the system, right? We have those tracking numbers out there. A call comes in. That's what creates the guest card. And that's what we're going to be able to see. Just know that every single inbound call is going to be recorded. So as that inbound call comes in, I'm not only going to be able to see that the call happened, but I can click on it. I can listen to it. Now, let's say that I want to give Taylor a call. What I want to do is I'm going to initiate those calls from the Knock CRM. So I'm going to click on the call tab, and that's going to provide me with my call button or buttons. Depends on if you have the browser call enabled. So you'll see that I have both. I have a phone call button and I have a browser call button. The phone call, this is what we're all going to have. This is tied to our landline. When I click on phone call, that initiates the call and my office phone is going to ring so I can have that conversation with our prospect. We're going to see that it's taking place and it's going to track it here within the system. Now, outbound calls are not recorded. So when I'm on the call with Taylor here, one thing that I can use to document our conversation is this note feature. When I click on note, it's going to open this up. So maybe I'm on the call with Taylor and she's telling me about her, her information and her preferences and some details. And I'm going to just enter all of that here into that notes area. That way I don't forget it. Once I'm done, I'll click save. And now that's added here. That way I can go back and take a look and other team members have that as well. So again, inbound calls are recorded. Outbound calls are not recorded. And the phone call button, that's tied to our landline. Now, even though the call is taking place from our office phone, we need to initiate it from here so that it's tracked and so that it calculates into our engagement score. The browser call is going to work the same as well. Now, but the browser call, this allows you to make a call right from the computer, not from a landline. Now, we're not going to go into too much detail about that in today's session. We're actually going to talk about it in advanced. But if you have the voice app and that browser call initiated, you have two ways to receive and initiate calls from a landline and from your computer. So our calls, when I want to make a call out, I'm going to click that phone call button. That's going to allow me to initiate and complete that call. Now, the next communication mode that you have available is SMS or text messaging. Now, you'll notice that this is currently grayed out. The reason why is that every prospect must opt in to text messaging before the system allows me to send them a text. So Taylor here has not opted in. Until she does, I am not going to be able to send her a text message. Once she does opt in, this is going to be available. I can click on it, and now I'm going to have a space where I'm going to be able to type in my text, and I can send it and off it goes right from the system. There's a couple of different ways for our prospect to opt in. One way is from the knockbot. So they could have done that from the knockbot. Also, when they do, when somebody does call, if it goes to voicemail, one option is going to allow them to also opt in for text messaging, so they can do it there as well. And you're going to be able to email them that. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. But until they do opt in, I don't have that capability in the system. Now, the last thing is emails. So here, once I do expand the email, I want to go into some detail about emails here, because we have lots of buttons here at the bottom that are going to allow me to move forward and use some different features. You'll notice this is very similar to any email that we've seen, right? We have a to field, a subject line, a body of the email. The system automatically populates our to field with the prospect's information, but just notice at the very far right, I can copy this to additional emails. And as those emails are responded to, everything is going to come back into the system. The subject will default to a generic subject, but I can change that. Maybe I want to invite Taylor to come into tour. I'm going to be able to type in a new subject so it matches my body and the message. When it comes to creating our email, I can just create one right from scratch. And this is going to allow me to change the font, the size. I can bold, italicize. I can use number lists, bullet points. You can even add links, inline images, even emojis. So lots of ways to customize our email. Now, creating emails from scratch is very time consuming and tedious. So there's a couple of other things that you're going to be able to use. One is that you can pre-create email templates and save them in the system. Those are what are called quick replies. So a quick reply, when I access it from here, is going to allow me to access any pre-created email that I can find from our list, click, and then populate into our email. That way it kind of expedites that creation process. Now, to create a quick reply, I'm going to just access this area, and at the bottom left, I can add a new quick reply. So let's say we do have a template, we utilize it quite a bit. I want to add it into the system so we don't have to create it every single time we use it. When I click new quick reply, it's going to open this area up. I'm going to give it a title. Here I have the email body to add it. Notice you can also create quick replies for text messaging. So take advantage of that if you'd like. But here in the email, I'm going to start creating my quick reply. Now, another feature that you also have available to you to use, especially with quick replies, is something called a merge tag. So for example, when I'm creating this email template, I always want to start with a proper greeting, right? Dear, and then the name of the prospect, the name of the person I'm sending it to. Because this is a template, I don't want to have to add that in every single time I use this email template. So what I can do is add a merge tag. It's basically like a placeholder. And the system is going to automatically populate the email with the appropriate information. The way that you add a merge tag is you're going to type in a # or a hashtag. That's going to provide this list, and you have several merge tags to use. This is in alphabetical order. So I'm going to just go down my list. Now, do I have something like recipient first name? Yes, I do. So I'm going to click on that. That's going to add that merge tag, and then I can create the rest of my email. Other merge tags you can use: community address, name, website. At the bottom, tracking phone number. There's the callback number. So remember, tracking numbers. This is the number we want to give to our prospects so they keep on coming back into the system. When we get out of the email, I'm going to show you where to find this so you can also verbally give that to somebody. Once you've created the quick reply, you're going to click create, and now it's saved in your library. So again, you can find it and use. The library is going to be listed in alphabetical order by title, but you're going to be able to see the original owner or who created it, a snippet, and you have editing capability. Now, quick replies are not private, they are public. So everybody's going to be able to use them, and everybody's going to be able to edit them. So let's say we created a quick reply, but details have changed, so we need to go back in and edit. Or maybe there's a quick reply we want to delete and remove from a list. I'm going to just click the little pencil icon associated to it. I can come in and make whatever change I need. and save, or at the bottom left, I can just permanently delete it out of the system. So our quick replies, very handy to expedite the creation process. And once I have added that quick reply, I'll click send and off it goes where everything is going to be saved here.